Okay. So, I don't know.
See ya.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today?
We're good. How are you?
Okay, doing okay. Thank you guys for coming to our virtual Zoom presentation. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Lisa, let me know when we start. It's already 4:02.
Yes, guys, make sure you're mute, please.
Estoy brava contigo, nena, ¿ves? No. No, yo sé, pero de verdad que no estoy molesta contigo por nada. Yo lo que pasa es que estoy con mis cosas, y los turnos de gato y el médico y eso, pero no. Pero no.
Please make sure you're mute. You mute yourself.
No, no estoy molesta para nada. La verdad que no.
Alicia, is there a way to
Algo me
auto mute
molesta,
everybody?
ya lo diría.
No.
Yeah, just click on participants and then
tendría por
you'll
qué
be
no
able to click on
decirte.
the microphone and mute them.
Got it.
Okay, guys, we're just gonna start in 2 minutes, just waiting for everyone to finish signing in.
Hello, Alicia, are we ready?
Yes, Johnny, you can go ahead and start.
Okay. So there are quite a few people on on this Zoom, so we really appreciate you guys taking the time to go over some of the rental process and actually the Facebook prospecting that I personally do and work here with Lifestyle. Just a little bit about myself for those who don't know me. My name is Jonathan Castro. I go by Johnny Castro. Everybody can see my screen, right? Just to confirm.
Yes.
All right, perfect. And if you need anybody has any questions throughout the presentation, please feel free to write it down in the chat, or I think you can raise your hand. Alicia is gonna help me keep track of that, and then at the end we're gonna go over some of those questions you guys may have. So a little bit about myself. My name is Jonathan Castro. I go by Johnny Castro on Instagram. You guys can reach out to me at any point with any questions you may have. I'm nowhere near close to be an expert. However, since starting with the brokerage, going full time this year, I have mainly focused my efforts in the leasing part of the business, and I have been, for my own goals that I have for myself, I would say successful in my own right, in a sense where the goals that I have set, I have, accomplished. So what we're gonna go over today is some of those numbers. I just asked just for as a point of reference. Before this year, I had a different job. I was working full time for a corporate company that shall remain nameless. Finally, I came over full time, and never actually have engaged or worked real estate full time before. It was just one thing there. And just to give you perspective, this year. I just requested the numbers, and I'm close to about $1 million in transactions closed in volume wise. So that's coming from doing absolutely zero to doing that kind of volume. For me, it's a personal goal that I had, and then we just know going in about August. On top of that, it's just mainly about 95%, 99% of that has been just through leases. And out of that percentage, I would say 90 to 95% have been through Facebook Marketplace alone, just doing prospecting in there. So we're gonna go through a couple of things here. We're gonna go through the Facebook prospecting in theory and in practice. The first slide, I'm gonna go through a little video that I thought it was very, I really found it interesting. It's a very short 20-second video. It doesn't have any sound, but it's just to kind of level set and get us started in today's presentation. So let me get that started. So how do trees grow? If you pay attention to the quick 25-second video, 30-second video, very, very slowly. So I saw that video yesterday as I was getting ready for this presentation, and I thought about the process in leases and in sales of this particular type. And for me, it was a very slow progress seeing the results of everything that we were doing. And all the hints, because when you start working in real estate, the first thing you're gonna get is a million hints about how to do a million things. So you have to find your way as you go and find what works for you, using obviously the advice that the firm gives you, because the brokerage actually does an amazing job, and it has a lot of people that when I first started taught me different things. But at the end of the day, you gotta find out what works for you, stick to it, and really work through it until you start seeing results. So today we're gonna talk about, again, prospecting and lead generation. In theory, that's the prospecting and generation. Then why are we learning it? In my opinion, we have noticed that this market is very crazy, very volatile when it comes to sales, purchases. We all seen it. If you guys are focusing on leases and have worked on leases, you guys will understand and have seen it personally that you would submit one offer 5 months ago, and you could actually even have room to negotiate. Nowadays, you submit 10 offers and you get them, out of those 10, you may get 6, 7 of them rejected till you finally get it. So it's a very competitive market. So that's the reason that I'm gonna show you what we're gonna talk about today is that's the why. So for you guys to really leverage social platforms such as Facebook Marketplace, so you can start driving that pipeline and filling up that pipeline, so you can maintain your objectives when it comes to the leases. And the how, we're gonna go through two aspects of this. We're gonna go through the theory, what's behind the scenes, and then we're gonna go through an actual screenshot presentation of what my process is in Facebook Marketplace and how I have been successful with it. So the very first thing is understanding the market. We have different sources, like Keeping Current Matters. There's many other sources out there that you can use just to understand what's going on in your trade area. When you're talking to clients, you have to make them understand that what kind of market we are experiencing and what they should expect. So if somebody comes to you that they need an apartment at 32 in Hialeah for $1,500 and they need it tomorrow, you pretty much know that that's not going to happen. So depending on the area where you are, you gotta be able to find different avenues that you can communicate to your clients or to your prospects, and that way you really help them through this process, because it's as frustrating as it is for us when we're trying to reach out to listing agents and set up appointments, set up showings, and doing all these things. Imagine how frustrating it is for the family, for a mom and dad that's coming up to the end of the lease and just is not getting lucky out there in this market. So we have to really take that into consideration and bring some understanding of what's going on, so we level, so we can temper expectations. Next thing is we have to setting smart goals. This is something that George really harpens on myself about, is making sure you write down your goals when it comes to what you want to get out of this leasing, out of the leases. In this situation, we all know what SMART goals are, specific. You have to know what you want to do. For example, my goal when it comes to Facebook Marketplace, I want to have 100 to 150 touches per week. When I mean touch, when I say touches, I mean that I want to engage with at least 100 people to 150 people in a week if I can. That's Monday through Saturday, just engaging. That's just to give me, just playing the numbers and give me enough quantity there so I can kind of qualify and move through the pipeline. Something that's measurable. You have to be able to keep track. Whatever system you want to use, I use a notebook when I start writing down my touches and the names, and then I transfer into an Excel sheet. You're still going to keep track of those, because again, everything we're doing now, especially when it comes to leases, we are doing it 90 days out. So everything you do in 30 days is probably going to start seeing fruits, and these branches are going to start bearing fruits within about 60 to 90 days, the way that things are going right now. But so it's very important that you keep track of your pipeline and then your touches with your prospects. Attainable. You cannot say, oh, I'm going to speak. If you have never actually done this, you don't have a system in place, you don't really have a follow-up system, you cannot say that you will start talking to 200 people in a week. It's just not going to happen. And then even if you do, you're not going to be able to maintain focus and maintain that consistency throughout. So you got to be it has to be attainable and realistic. And time bound, you have to give yourself a time frame. Like I told you guys, I want to have 100 touches, 150 touches in a week. So that's a time bound. So I give myself a time frame in which I want to accomplish that part. Time blocking. So we just talk about time bound and then SMART goals. So time blocking is what I found to be a lifesaver when it comes to actually following up with my Facebook Marketplace activities. I have set up a time where I do not answer calls about showings. I do not answer calls about personal calls, nothing. I'm doing for that block. That could be an hour to you. That could be 2 hours, whatever time during the day. It honestly doesn't matter as long as you set in the time block. I put what you see here on the camera. It's basically an app. It's called Time Blocking, where you can use. I believe it's free, but you can download that and then it just blocks the time for you. And it actually is going to show you how much time you actually have in a day to get these things done. Streamline communications. This is more when we go into the next slide. When you're talking to your prospects, I'll always make sure that my communication is just is linear. What do I mean by that? When I first started, I had conversations with the prospects, and I would speak with them basically on Facebook. Then they will try, I'll try to get a phone number, then an email, and then I will send them some listings via email. Then I will check back with them through Facebook, then maybe a text. So a lot of times it got confusing and we got lost in translation where, oh, I didn't get that, or I didn't get the link right. So one thing that has helped me immensely is just maintaining one line. And you can always ask them, hey, do you prefer for me to communicate through you through Facebook, through text message, or email? Given that option, and once they give you that option, you maintain that line of communication. This is not, we will not be going into how to complete a CTL. That's for a different presentation. If anybody does need any help in completing CTLs, I'll be more than happy to help you guys with that, and anybody else in the brokerage that has experience with this. But what I mean, and I'm putting it here, is nowadays, going back to what I said earlier, we are so competitive that when you submit CTLs, it's very, very important to make sure you hit all the points that the remarks are asking. And even when they're not asking for many things in detail, always make sure you reach out to the listing agent and try to find out, hey, Mira, I'm gonna send you a CTL. Thank you for allowing me to show this property, this listing. What is it that you need me to send you in a package to make sure that my file is complete? They could tell you, listen, I just need an application, IDs, and credit score background. That's it. Or I need bank statements, or I need reference letters. So I always try to have at least 3 to 4 more things that they didn't even ask for. For example, if obviously all the basics, the IDs, my tenant screening is an amazing resource for you guys, for all of us on the matrix. That's only costs $25, and you can get the background, eviction, criminal record, credit reports. You can even do an application through it. You can do it you can pay yourself, or you can have your process pay for, your clients pay for it. It's only $25, and then you add all this to this to the CTL when you send that email, because remember that email is being forwarded to the landlord. So you got a better chance of a landlord that's seeing an actual very full and complete application than having to go back and forth with a listing agent because you're missing anything. Here is just having obviously backup options. Right now, we all know the market that we are in. We understand that just because we submit an offer for $200, $150, $300 over asking price, it does not mean that it will get accepted. So it's always good, and I'll make it a practice to have 2 to 3 backup options just ready to go. All the paperwork is already there. We already, we continue to see until we have an answer from the original one. And that's another point on that. On the CTLs, always make sure you use your expiration dates on your CTLs. Don't ever leave that blank, because that allows you to, if somebody cannot just leave you waiting for a week for CTL, so you can use that to your advantage as well, and to protect yourself and protect your client. Lastly here, CRM, rinse and repeat. This is an advice that I got from Jennifer Abreu when I first started. That I asked her, what was one thing that you wish somebody would have told you and really harping on you when you first started your career on real estate? And she said, I wish I would have had a CRM, a very solid CRM, which is client relationship management or customer relationship management. Basically just somewhere where you maintain all your closings, all your touches, everybody that you engage with in this business. You can throw them in whatever form you want to use. If you want to use Excel, if you want to use Follow-Up Buzz, if you want to use Lion Desk, there's quite a few CRM systems out there. I paid $25 for Lion Desk. It has templates you can just automatically send to clients. You can send them emails, text messages, different campaigns for $25 a month. So that goes such a long way, because you basically have a system now to keep track. And because somebody rented for you today, and just to kind of go back to this theory that I kind of have figured out. I'm not originally from Miami. Therefore, I do not have a foundation of clients that are just gonna start buying from me right away. like some people may have. Some of us just started in this business and then we don't have that. So if we start doing leases, and then those people who lease now in a year or two will be buyers, you know, hopefully, right? So if you manage to do 100 leases in a year, right? 70 leases in a year, 50 leases in a year, and then you find a system to continue to do that into next year. But now you did 50 next year, about 1 or 2 of those people that rent and now want to buy, now you added 50 plus 2 purchases, right? Because if you treat them well, if you maintain a CRM, if you maintain communication, chances are they're going to work with you again if you did a good job. Unless somebody in the family becomes a realtor, at that point you probably have no choice. But even so, if you did a good job with them, you know, they may stay with you. Do we want to open it to some questions now, Alicia, or do we want to continue?
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, guys, feel free to ask Johnny.
I'm gonna unmute.
What was the name of the CRM that you were saying? Lion?
Oh, Lion Desk is the one that I use. It's only $25 a month.
Thank you.
You got it.
Hey guys, I just want to know if this training is being recorded because I am on my way to some showings right now.
Any other questions?
Wait, Johnny, she asked, is it being recorded? It is, right?
Yes, it is being recorded.
Okay.
Any other questions, guys? Or we're good to go? Keep going. All right, we'll keep going. So we're gonna go to the fun part now. We're gonna go through Facebook now. See if I can get this. All right, so here we are. So everything, we all have seen this image before, the famous iceberg, right? Like the top is what people see and the bottom is everything that you actually do. So this is actually my progress that I decided to use this graphic because a lot of people a lot of times say, oh, no, you did, 10 rentals this month, or you did this many rentals, you did this many. Oh, why is it so easy? Like, what are you doing? But it's really not easy. It's just trying to be consistent, right? And trying to find a system that works for you that will allow you to eventually see that tree continue to grow and maintain that routine and that pipeline going. So the very first thing I wanted to talk about is this. Is the very bottom of our little iceberg here. This is our practice and what I actually do on Facebook Marketplace every single week. So the very first thing I did was choose your criteria. You gotta choose your trade area. What do I mean by that? On Facebook Marketplace, you will notice that you get to basically post as many listings as you want. If you start posting just all kinds of listings that are all over the place, one in Hialeah, one in Hollywood, one in Miramar, one in Brickell, one in Kendall, one in Homestead, it is perfectly fine if you do that. However, that is not really centering your trade area. You're not really getting to know a certain area. And if you are going to do that, where you are posting whatever because you don't really mind traveling to certain areas in Miami or even Broward, at least try to maintain it to where some of the features of what you're choosing are unique. In my experience, in my opinion, I always choose, I start with like 2 bedrooms, for example. I always make sure they have a washer and dryer. I always make sure that they allow pets. I always make sure they are no hope. Like, I follow at least 3 to 4 things that work for me that whenever somebody asks me a question, if I'm driving, don't text and drive, but if you are busy doing something that you cannot necessarily get to a computer to check a listing out, you can always know some basics about what they're asking you, right? They're asking for 3 months to move in. So you gotta really dig and find what works for you. As I don't want you guys to leave it too generic, but try to find those key points that when people are asking you about the property, you can actually, without even looking at the property, you can answer real quick, and it will allow you some time to actually get to a computer, to get to your phone and look for more answers, to be more descriptive about the property. So I choose my trade area very carefully, make sure I do, a price range is very important. That's a question I get asked a lot. What's your price range that you use when you're posting? It is whatever works for you. Some people are not gonna get out of the house for anything under $2,000. Personally, I just post anything from $15,000 to $3,000. I honestly, I just do volume. So but that's just my, perspective. You guys need to choose and go from there. The next thing I'm gonna say here is when you are posting on Facebook Marketplace and you grabbing anything from here, you're gonna see something here that says list of broker codes. We have a whole list of brokerages in Miami that we are partners with, and it works amazing for us because we can just post anything that they post. Could be anything that's for sale, anything that's for leases. We actually can grab those listings that they have, and we can just advertise them whichever way we want to. And since we already have a partnership with those brokerages, sometimes it's easier to communicate with those listing agents, as we know. So if you guys do not have the list of the brokers that we use, and you can key right here where it says list broker code, let us know, and we'll make sure you guys we'll post it at the end, or we'll make sure you guys have it. Another thing I want to tell you guys here is a question that has been brought up, and this just changed recently, is about the attribution. What can you post? What can you not post? So I finally got this kind of cleared up, and basically you have several options there. It's one of the criteria. You have things that it says here, okay to advertise. So you have to make sure you have that as part of your criteria selection. So it's going to tell you, no, it's not okay to advertise. We just move on right away, right? If it says no, then it's a no. Now, where it gets interesting is the next one. It says, yes, you can advertise, and attribution is not required. What does that mean, attribution? If you see right here, I put the little Google search for it, is the action of regarding something as being caused by a person or a thing, and the action of ascribing a work of remark to a particular author, artist, or person. In our terms, give credit to the brokers that listed it. So if you are gonna use the one that says, yes, attribution not required, you do not have to give credit because it's saying that you don't need to give attribution. So you can post away. If it says, yes, however, attribution is required, you have to make sure that in somewhere in the bio of your post, you put listing courtesy of XYZ brokerage. You don't have to put the name of the agent. You have to put the name of the brokerage, because remember, we do not own the listings, a brokerage does. So we have to make sure we use that. And if the last option you have there is with broker approval, so good luck with that one, because you never really rarely you get an answer back if you email them. Any questions on this one? Because I know that has been a point of confusion for a lot of people. I know it was for myself. So I wanted to make sure that everybody was clear on what's okay to post here on social media. Let's see. Okay. So are we good to go? I'm gonna continue that.
Yeah, you could go ahead.
All right.
Money today, of course.
Okay, so all right. Accuracy matters when you're posting. Okay. A lot of the times when I'm engaging with the prospects on Facebook Marketplace, you get the first question is this. You get the different types of people asking questions. You get the people that ask you, hey, is this available? And if you say yes, it's available, you got the people that just ghost you, never reply anything else. People who ask you, oh, can I see it? Or can I get more information? So that's why it's important to always be accurate with what you post, because a lot of times some agents are not as clear, sometimes on purpose, sometimes not purposeful, but they're not as clear on the properties that they have on listed. Sometimes those listings are not even available for long amounts of times. So you get maybe called out for click and bait, switch and bait, things like that. So you have to use your criteria on this, and make sure you try to add as much information as possible to every listing. What do I mean by that? You have room for about 50 pictures to post. Now I know that you can only use whatever's on the MLS, but if the MLS has 20 pictures, I will use 20 pictures. But you have up to 50. I always make sure I look at the square footage, how many bedrooms, is it dog friendly, and where's the laundry at, in unit laundry, laundry available, no laundry, garage parking, or is it on street parking, all the information that you can gather from the listing that you can post. So it just helps you whenever people just kind of diminish some of the questions. And speaking of that, the very next thing is a tip that that has helped me immensely. And I know some of you guys may be here logged in, but I know that it has helped some people too. The first thing is that join as many groups as possible on Facebook Marketplace that have to deal with sales and buying. If you look at this on your left side, it says, you know, for example, this one for Compra y Vende Miami, it has 27,000 followers or members. And, most of them are public, or, you know, but you can, if they're private, you can just request to join and they let you post. This one has 76,000 members. This one in Hialeah has 89,000 members, and so on. So this one here has 100,000 members. What does that mean? That means that when you post something on Facebook and you don't link it to any of these groups, you're only gonna have it within your sphere, right? It's gonna post to your marketplace, and somebody has to be looking for it to find it. If you attach it to all this to these groups that have this amount of people, you will in turn get a lot more eyes on that listing that you posted and more interest. On the right side here, you will notice this Google Translate, another free resource that we can use. I always make sure I translate the bios from the MLS, right? I make sure that it says, you know, it's a fabulous 3-bed, 2.5-bath townhome in beautiful community in Doral. So I just 2 clicks away, put it on Google Translate, fabulosa casa adosada. I've never heard that word, but I'm assuming it's right. De 3 habitaciones y 2 baños y medio en la hermosa comunidad de San Maurice en Doral. I don't even check if it's right. I don't check if it's correct. I just copy paste it, right? Just because I know that at least 95% of it will be right. And it will drive the point across. The reason I do this is because, again, we are in Miami and we have a very large Latino, Hispanic, Latin population. So it goes like a little bit of an extra step when they are going through these listings on Facebook, you know, looking all day, and they see that somebody actually took the time to translate something for them. And if we go back a bit here, just one slide here, where it says description, when you posted that, that's where you want to post or write courtesy of XYZ brokerage whenever you are giving attribution, if it's attribution required. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I call that out and give you that tip, because the joining the groups will increase the amount of prospects to you that you guys have exponentially. Okay, here we talk about engaging properly with your prospects on Facebook Marketplace. What do I mean? I go back to the touches that I spoke about before. The touches is when not just when somebody asks if this is available, I say yes. That's not a touch to me. That doesn't count. A touch to me is when you actually have this amount of conversation back and forth between you and the prospect, because you want to ask as many open-ended questions as possible, make them feel comfortable with you, make sure you respond to what they're actually telling you, you know, and then ask what concerns they have. What's their main, you know, what are they really, really looking for? What's their ideal play looks like? Things like that. Engage them, as after you have a certain length of communication with them, they're more likely to stay working with you until you find them in place. Obviously, I understand they will work with other people because, you know, we have a lot of realtors on using this platform. But one thing that I consistently hear from clients that I get to close on is that you were the only one who took the time to reply. You were the only one who got up on a Saturday at 3 p.m. and can do the showing, because, you know, we're doing so many other things and some people are just not very actively responding to folks on their Facebook Marketplace. So again, going back to the time blocking, because I have my time blocks where I can do I have it typically from 8 in the morning to about 9:30 a.m. is when I'm focused on Facebook Marketplace, right? And then I do another touch in the afternoon and maybe one in the evening before I go to bed. So that way I make sure, you know, don't be chasing Facebook Marketplace all day long, because you're gonna just stay answering questions all day long. However, if you have a block of time and you have your matrix open on one side and then your Facebook Marketplace on another, you can really keep track and have conversation and answer properly to this question. So that's why I say engage properly with them. The next thing here is qualify. So now that we engage properly with that prospect, a lot of people ask me, but when are you asking them about credit? When are you asking them what the credit score is or how much money they make and all this? I actually do not do it until we settle in a property that I sent them via listings that they really like, that is available after I checked with the listing agent, and that they really want to see it. So at this point, I go through the remarks. Okay, it's asking for 650 credit. Okay, it's asking for 3 months to move in. Okay, it's asking for this. It's asking for that. So at that point, I'm not asking the prospect, do you have these key points? I just let them know, hey, I'm almost finished setting this appointment up. However, let me communicate what the moving cost is and what the requirements are. And I just post it right there, again, in the preferred line of communication. And they will tell you, and I just ask him at the end, is this gonna work for you? Or does this work for you okay? And they will tell you right then and then, because they don't want to waste time. If they have a credit score of 400 points and they're asking for 700, they're gonna tell you right there, no, that credit's too much. If they're asking for 3 months to move in and they only have 2 months to move in, they're gonna tell you right then and then. Because again, remember, you have to understand your market. There's no negotiations when it comes to if an HOA asking for a certain credit score, and if the landlord is asking for 3 months to move in, because right now people are paying like 6 months to move in. So again, you have to understand that, put it on their court. Once they clear that with you and you qualify them, that you can proceed to set an appointment to see X listing. Now, when we go see the listing, before we see the listing, we are professionals, right? So we want to behave and act and portray ourselves as professionals. So I use what's called Square Appointments. Again, another free resource. What this is an app that if you have a business, you can set it up through the app. It's super easy. It's not going to take you longer than 5-10 minutes to do. And what it does is basically it creates a business page for you with a link. So after I engage with the prospect, I qualify the prospect, and I already have a listing appointment requested, not listing appointment, sorry, a showing requested and all that. I send them a link, and I let them know, hey, I'm gonna send you a link for you to choose the time for us to go see this showing, and the times that we can see it from this time to this time. So you kind of work with the parameters that you have. What happens here is that now you put it on their court to engage again with you. So at this point, they're gonna go in the link. They're gonna find it's super easy for them to do. They hit the link. It's gonna take them to set the appointment. They're gonna pick the time, and you will get an email like you see here on the left. Jonathan Realtor, Alan Rosalind. This is his phone number for Saturday, July 10th. You got a showing or visita, and that's it. And they get it. I get a text message as well with this that I can one click add it to my calendar, and the prospect also gets this. Now, if all this is not, good enough for you guys, even the best thing about this part to me is that you don't even ever have to ask them for the phone number, during this whole, situation. Now is they giving it to you themselves here, as you can see, Alan Rosalind, Yahoo, and then you got the phone number, which before you go on the list, I keep saying listing appointment. Before you go on that showing, you can call them, let them know, hey, mira, I'm gonna call you, text you 30 minutes before, an hour before, just to confirm that we are set. I like to do it 30 minutes. So going back to what I said earlier, if you have your trade area, now you know where you need to be in certain areas, so you're not gonna ever be 2 hours away from where you need to be. Now, unless you gotta get it in a Palmetto or Dolphin at 5 o'clock, then that's a different story, which I never actually do. But now you have a phone number here. You can text them, you can call them, hey, Alan, I was still set to see XYZ property 5 o'clock. Oh yeah, we are set to go. See you there. Boom. Now you look professional, and you are not gonna be looking silly showing up to an appointment. There's nobody there. Lastly here, and then just to tie it up together, you see how you got this Alan Rosalind with his email and his phone number here. Now what's gonna happen after this, you're gonna go through the whole process of the CTLs, and hopefully you get the apartment for this person. Even if you do or you don't. But now you got information that my friend Jennifer Abreu really would have loved when she started in this business, because now she can copy paste this information and throw it into a CRM, which is again customer relationship management, and throw that information there to follow up with that person, you can set an alert to after, let's say you did a closing with him, with Alan. Now you can put a reminder to, in 30 days, remind you to send an email, or in 2 weeks, about, hey, thank you for closing with me. Thank you for choosing me. Yeah, and you can also ask for referrals. It has a bunch of templates you can use. It's amazing. And then just to stay in front of the client, maybe set another reminder for 3 months, 6 months on the road. Hey, some home buying tips. Some home buying tips and things like that. So everything ties together, and that's the process that I use.
I know.
Somebody knows something?
Yeah, I hope it's a good thing, and I wish you all the best.
Wait, I wish you all the best as well, wherever that was. Okay, so that's a process that I follow. And again, it has allowed me to close, again, I was surprised when I saw the number today, but almost $1 million in volume. That's a lot. Well, I didn't even know that number. But I use this process religiously. The market is a little more difficult than it was before. So it does take more work to get this done, but it's not impossible, right? So the last thing I did wanted to touch here before we leave is that there's gonna be a lot of times, especially in this market, that you will get so frustrated with this, with the process. You're not gonna see the tree growing. Remember, the tree grows very slowly. So you're not gonna see your efforts really driving the results that you want, but that doesn't mean you need to stop. That means you need to keep going and maintain and get better at those processes. And then one book that's gonna help you with this is The Compound Effect. This book it really was huge for me starting out, because basically it showed me, and it really taught me how very small things that I do have start having an avalanche effect down the road. Like saving these numbers, talking to people constantly, time blocking, doing little things like that really goes a long way. There are gonna be times when you think that you don't have enough time, enough hours in the day to get this done, because you may have another job. This may be your part-time. You may have kids, you may have a dog, you may have a wife, you may have 2 wives, 2 husbands, I don't know. So you may not find too much time in your day. So this book called The Miracle Morning really, 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 really made me see the bigger picture of how much time I actually have if I time manage well. And it's very easy to read. And it really puts a lot of things in perspective about how much time you actually have before even, to allow you to do all these things. And lastly, if you ever sit around and you're frustrated, again, trying to punch the computer through the screen, because there's not a lot of prospects out there, or these prospects are nobody's, I'm losing all my offers, or I'm losing, or these clients are not qualified, and this and the other. If you listen to this book called Fanatical Prospecting, I just finished listening to this, all those excuses will go out the window. I was able to, I was really going through a little rough patch there. And, after reading this book or listening to this book, I was able to just snag up like 2 listing appointments, calling, again, have a few more deals on the pipeline. Because again, you have to always go back to the basics, and books like this help me out a lot on that, to follow up what we just talked about today. So with that, thank you for your time today, and I'm gonna open it for any questions you guys may have.
Thank you so much. This was a great training. Are you guys going to be putting this up on the LR Cloud?
Yes, I'll be putting the recording probably later this evening.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate your time, and thank you for placing this on LIR Cloud too, because I've been on the phone half the time and I've been missing out. This has been very informational. Thank you very much.
Great job, Johnny. Great job, Johnny.
Yeah, this is amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
You got it. Thank you.
Jonathan, with the come through, man. I'm super proud of you. You've done a great job. I'm witness to the hard work that you've put in, and the commissions you've earned. And I love seeing you in the office, love seeing the effort that you put in. This training was amazing, and just keep it up, man. Keep it up. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Get it, Jay.
All right, I don't think there's any
Okay,
more
guys, if you don't
questions.
have any more questions, we'll be putting up the training later on today, okay? Thank you for tuning in.